back. What's your name? Josh. Josh is my newest Marine. But I can't just give Josh a uniform and a weapon and say, okay, go make yourself a Marine counter. No, I've got to bring him in, train him, equip him, house him, and feed him. So let's see what we've got here in the box for Josh. First thing he's going to get, new hat. Now, because of the Marine Corps, he's going to have to run around, climb over walls, crawl under barbed wire, do a lot of physical things. He can't carry everything he's got in his hands. So he'll need some pockets. There's his pockets. Take one left arm, put it through there. Right arm through, whoa, hold on. You get ahead of me. Right arm through there. We'll fasten it in the front. Now he's got some pockets to carry things in. Believe it or not, I may give him more than what he can just fit in those pockets. If I do that, it's okay. More pockets. What do you weigh, Josh?
I don't know.
What do you think, Mom?
About 60.
About 60 pounds. This pack is less than 40, so he will have no problem handling it. Okay? You're going to need one of these. And I don't want you to let the girls kid you. This is not a purse. Hang on to that. You're also going to need one of these. Let's not forget about that. And have you had breakfast yet this morning? You haven't. Now you have breakfast. There's something to cook in it. Because in the Marine Corps we believe in physical fitness, what we are going to do now is discuss all these items. Josh is going to get down on this sidewalk and run the half-mile laps around the combat zone. Go. No, wait, come back, come back. Okay. We won't really do that today. There's some mud out there. We can't have that. Like, seriously, let's talk about all these things I've given him. What I gave him for breakfast here is his U.S. Army Field Ration K, the K ration. This is something small, lightweight. We could produce this in the millions and send it overseas to feed our troops. Here's an idea of what they'll get. One package of assorted biscuits, one package of lemon juice powder, one canned pork luncheon meat, one D ration chocolate bar made mainly of wax, 4 tablets of sugar, and 1 stick of chewing gum. Now in this, the ingredients, there is a secret weapon. Does anyone have any idea what it is?
P-38.
I heard P-38, that's close. Chewing gum I did hear over here. Believe it or not, that chewing gum is something that is going to turn into a secret weapon. Why? We enjoy it here in the United States, so we include it in our rations for our boys. What it's going to do for them is they're going to chew it and it'll keep their mouth from getting dry. What that'll do is keep them from consuming all their water. Also in the middle of the night when they're trying to stay awake in those foxholes, it's going to help keep them awake. So it's something that our guys have, nobody else does. Secret weapon. I've given him something to cook it in. What he has here is his mess kit. The mess kit he's going to take with him everywhere he goes in his pack. He'll have it in the rear when he's in barracks too. Everywhere he goes, he'll have that. Now when he does get a hot meal, that's going to become his serving tray. He's got a handle on the bottom, the top comes off to make another tray. Our idea is we're going to feed him 1 or 2 K rations a day, and hopefully we can supplement that with a hot meal. In reality, they would eat K rations for weeks at a time, if that's all we could get to them. Across his back, this strange-looking device is your U.S. Navy flotation device. Remember World War II, no matter where we fight, we're going to have to transit the ocean on those troop ships. If he's above decks walking around, hopefully he's got this around his waist, so if he falls overboard, it'll keep him afloat. Now, when we go into the landing beaches, our Amtrak might get swamped or sunk by enemy fire. Hopefully he's going to have one of these also. But do you think this will keep him afloat with all the rest of that gear on? Believe it or not, it will. Unfortunately, if he wears it around his waist while equipped like that, he will then float upside down. So we're going to teach him in that event to lay it out like a log, drape his arms across, and that way he can dog paddle to the beach. Another thing I've given him, which I kidded him about, it's not a purse. This is your U.S. gas mask. Remember, we've never fought the Japanese. We don't know what they're going to do. After World War I, it was decided that poison gas would not be used, and all the countries that signed that agreed we won't use poison gas. Guess which one didn't agree to that?
Japan.
That is correct. So we don't know. We've never fought them. They didn't sign the Geneva Convention, didn't ratify it. They might gas us on the beach. We'll give one of these to every soldier and every Marine. As it turned out, we found out through World War II, most of the guys would hit the beach, no gas, get rid of this. You notice I've given him a wooden rifle. When World War II started, we started bringing all the people into the Army and Marine Corps to expand our military. We didn't have enough weapons. So a toy company came to Ray and said, we can produce for you the facsimile of a wooden rifle with which you can begin their training. Now with this, I can't teach him how to shoot, but I can teach him his manual of arms. I can teach him about sight alignment, sight picture, trigger squeeze, the basic care and functioning of a bolt-action rifle. And no, he can't learn to shoot this. Before every Marine graduates boot camp, they'll be able to hit a man-sized target at 500 yards without a scope. Go ahead and turn around. Let's look at that house on your back. What we've got here is the M1941 Marine Corps pack system. Consists of an upper and lower pack. The bottom can be detached to give you the light marching pack. It's lighter and you can move it a little faster. In the upper, he's going to have his rations, mess kit, spare socks and underwear, shaving kit, any other personal items he might want, spare clean socks. In the bottom, he'll have another set of this, the herringbone twill dungaree uniform. It's a little heavier than the light khaki cotton one we started the war with. It's going to hold up better in the tropics, and this is the uniform we're going to use to fight in the South Pacific in World War II. In the bottom pack, he'll also have another set of our boots, or as we call them, our boondockers. Wrapped around the pack, what you see is a camouflage item. What that is a shelter half. He's got one shelter half, I've got the other shelter half. We're going to use the buddy system, and when we get to where we need to camp out, we'll button those two halves together and make a pup tent to keep the rain off of us. In the middle of his bag, you see a small shovel. That's called an entrenching tool, or E-tool for short. Now, Josh, I'd like you to reach over your shoulder and grab that E-tool. That's not going to work very well, is it? The idea here again is the buddy system. If we're going along and we get to where we need to dig in really quick, I can reach up to my buddy's pack, grab his E-tool, and I can start to dig. He'll guard me with his rifle. When I become fatigued, we'll trade off. Buddy system. We're going to share all the gear we've got, almost. You ready to drop that pack? All right, let's have it. You're going to feel about a foot taller. 6'5", exactly. All right, what we have left is the basic fighting load of the Marine infantryman. And once he gets to the combat zone, drops his pack, this is what he's going to go into action with. Here we've got the M1 helmet. The M1 helmet is different than the flat hat or Kelly helmet that we started the war with. In World War I, we used that doughboy style helmet because it had a wide brim. It did a good job protecting from falling debris. Now World War II is going to be a much more mobile war. So here we have a helmet that comes down lower on the back of the neck, protects the ears. The United States was the only country to develop a two-piece helmet system. With this, he can take the liner out, put it on his head when he's behind the lines, keep the sun and the rain off to some extent, save this heavy helmet, set it aside and save it for combat. The helmet itself is good, protects from fragmentation and falling debris, but does not stop bullets. If bullets enter here, they exit there. Or, if the Marine's having a really bad day at work, the bullet may enter, bounce around, spin, exit somewhere else. It does not stop bullets. On the good side, it's also a tool. When inverted, he can use it for a bowl. He can cook in it. He can shave in it. If he loses his shovel, this will become his shovel. And for all our boys getting on those troop ships going overseas from the South and the Midwest who've never been on a ship before, this may become their emergency evacuation device, if you get my meaning. Take the liner out first. There you have your M1 helmet system. The load-bearing equipment that we're left with is called 782 gear, or deuce gear, as slang by the Marines, because it's signed out on Form 782. It's made of a heavy canvas. The heavy canvas is not going to hold up forever in the tropics, but it's going to do a pretty good job. It's lightweight, it's cheap, we can produce it quickly and in the millions. Our enemies and some of our allies are going to use a lot of leather products. In the tropics, leather is going to do several things. First, the leather will get wet and stretched. Then it dries and begins to crack, and finally it rots. Ours is going to hold up a little better. It won't last forever, but it's going to do a good job for us. The cartridge belt around his middle has 10 pockets. He's almost exactly the same as what we had in the First World War. 10 pockets for ammunition of varying amounts depending on what weapon you have. Across the shoulders you see the suspenders. They'll do a good job taking the weight off the hips, but because they have a tendency to become entangled and fall off the shoulders, and because they're also part of the pack system, most Marines would discard them or simply leave them on the pack. On his right side and on my left, you see a canteen, and it holds a little over a quart of water, and it's in a carrier that is not insulated. So down on this South Pacific tropical beach, if it's 100 degrees, probably 110 in that canteen. Josh and I are going to learn to like that because it's all the water we've got. This setup was designed to last a day in combat. They quickly found out that that quart of water would last you maybe 20 minutes. So most soldiers and Marines would gain a second or third canteen to try to keep from getting dehydrated. The last item we'll talk about is on my right front and on his left side. What you have there is the one item that we will try not to share that unless we have to. It's our medical pouch. The reason we're not going to try to share that is because when Josh and I hit the beach, if I get hit by enemy fire and he uses his bandage to patch me up, what happens to him when he goes on down the road? You don't have any. He doesn't have one. So we're going to use our buddy's pouch on him. If we have to use ours to save him, we will. But we're going to try to find another one. You bet we are. And that concludes. That's your basic Marine rifleman gear of the Second World War. There's one more thing Josh is going to need though before he continues on with his next phase of Marine training. And that is something that every Marine and soldier has. A set of identity discs, or as we call them, dog tags. What you're going to do with these, take them over to the vendor. After the show, they'll put anything on them you want. All right, let's give them one, folks.
All right, Josh.
Good job.
Woo!